Hi, everybody. It's Miss Whitley, and I want to do a quick video for you on the calendar assignment. It's called the weekly calendar assignment. It's in lesson 7. So I'm going to my student view, clicking on lessons, and I'm going to go to lesson 7. Lesson 7 is a busy chapter. We're just going to focus in, though, on the weekly calendar assignment. I want to scroll up so that you can see more of it. You'll all notice right off the bat that I've given 2 samples of people's assignments from the past who have finished this. And you're only going to work on the Microsoft Excel weekly time tracking assignment, not the circadian rhythms for summer. The point is, or how to earn points, your final product is to submit a filled up Excel spreadsheet. I'm not sure what I meant by filled up, showing how you tracked your time and how your time is grouped into categories. So you want to look at these categories here, look at least 5, showing how your time was spent on 5 contiguous days of the week. If you do this correctly, so let's define what correctly means. If you keep up with what you are doing on an hour by hour basis, just in the ballpark, try your best for 5 days, you get a snapshot of what you're doing with your time. Now, here are our 5 suggested categories. You can come up with ones on your own based on how you spend your time. I want you to do nothing different. Just capture yourself like you're taking a time photograph of what you really do. Try to be honest. Maybe the word honest is not the best there. Be as realistic and authentic as possible, not putting what you think you should do, but what you are doing. And then there are 5 points for each one of these categories. If you change to another category, then make sure that it's something that you do a lot or enough to be recorded. So the class time is one suggestion, your dedicated study time. The travel time. So if you're traveling from your basement to your living room, because that's where you go to study, then I would keep up maybe with a different type of time spent, or maybe you want to call it preparation time before you start studying. So you have to think of what categories or groupings of time you actually invest your life into over a 5-day period. Now you want to categorize sleeping and eating. And then one of the other things you want to do is to put into categories. I'm going to show you how to do that. I've repeated that word now 3 times. And then calculate. And here's where your formula, calculate your total time. It says, see the example on the side of the box. So what I'm going to do is go back to share an application with you, an Excel spreadsheet of one that was done. Maybe I'll even share 2. So this is an example of the weekly calendar. I know your assignment says to put in class schedule, but this student chose to call it weekly calendar. I think that's fine. The thing that she's done here that she's done correctly is she's centered it. So look at how she has broken her time into segments, and then she comes over and color codes them. Wake up early, get ready. The yellow stands for waking up, and so that's how she spends her hours. So this is interesting. So 30 minutes, 30 minutes, 30 minutes. And then she has an analysis. This is the third thing. So you really have 3 pieces of data that need to be on this Excel spreadsheet. The way you kept up with your life, Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday, and then how you used your formula. Here she's used a sum formula. She just counted it up, I think, by hand. But here she used sum, and here is the auto sum right there if you want to know where that's coming from. But I mean, I can also show you that, and I will when we demonstrate how to do this. And then she's done an analysis of her week. So she's met the assignment. I want to show you another one though. Let me go to a second example. Now I'm going to go here. And I want you to see how this student elected to do it. So this was a very copious way of keeping up with her time. She did, oh my goodness, this is what she did with weekly usage, and here's how she broke down her time by hours. I mean, by days. This is pretty impressive. I can't say that I've seen one that is this detail oriented, but I wanted to show it to you because A, I thought it was beautiful, and B, it's just an excellent example of how this assignment can actually make a difference in looking at how you spend your time, examining how you spend your time. You'll see she says my time is very scheduled, out of order. I to get as much as I can out of the week as possible. It's depressingly due to moving to a second job in the evenings in order to do my work. I really spend more than a few minutes with my husband. So she just keeps going in here. Oh, look, she's mentioned SMART goals. So wanting to have 8 hours of sleep. So I think that's pretty impressive too, that she's been able to pull from an earlier assignment in class and bring that into the weekly calendar. So the question is probably on your mind, how am I going to do this weekly calendar? And so here's what I want to do. I want to go over the instructions with you. So we're going to go back to Chrome. I mean, not, well, we are going to Chrome, but we're going to go into the course. And then what I'm going to do is open up an Excel spreadsheet, and we're going to follow the instructions. I'm going to hide the instructions because unfortunately I only have the one monitor. So I need to show you the Excel spreadsheet, and then I'll read it myself offline and show you how to do this. So I'm going to, if you've got your assignment, if you could just go to lesson 7, and you just saw these 2 samples, and let's follow the instructions and see if we can make them happen. Now, it's okay if we make a mistake, and I may do that just for the heck of it, just for fun, so that we can see that it doesn't break anything. All right, so here we go. I'm going to go to Collaborate, and I'm going to go to an empty Excel spreadsheet. Now, I just want to point out 2 things. If you look at the bottom, you'll see formula example. I'd set that up for you to show you how to do a formula. I'll come back to that in a minute. The second thing is I opened another worksheet, and I called this the weekly calendar assignment, and that's how I'm going to follow the instructions. If you see this circle with an arrow in it and just roll over it, you'll notice it says at the bottom, new sheet. So if I wanted to add another sheet, another worksheet, then I would have 3 in this workbook. So when you an Excel spreadsheet, just one, it's called a worksheet. But if you have multiple ones, and see, I can continue to add and continue to add, this then becomes an Excel workbook. But let me go back to the weekly calendar, and I'm going to follow along with the instructions on my own so that I can see how lesson 7 is supposed to be done. So let me just make sure that you're still looking at the spreadsheet, and you are. So let me do the first one. It says that we're supposed to open Microsoft Excel, which I've done, and then in cell 1A, I need to type in class schedule. So I believe I'd started that class schedule, and that is 1A. So 1 is the row, the numbers are the rows, the columns are A, B, C, etc. And you can see if I go past Z or Z, if you're British, it'll be double A, AB. And I don't know if you're aware, but Excel can hold up to 1 million rows. And a number, I've never even seen the end of the number. I'm sure maybe it's a square, 1 million rows and 1 million columns. It's a very robust system. I use it and like it a lot. I hope you will. Okay, the second thing that we're supposed to do is that we're supposed to select all of column A by clicking on the gray A box at the top of the worksheet and then go to Format Cells. So let's do that. We're going to select all of column A by clicking on the gray A box at the top and then go to Format Cells. We're going to go to the Number tab, click on Time, and then type and we're going to click on 1:30 p.m. and then click OK. So let's see if we can remember to do that. So we're going to go here, and it said to go to Format Cells. So I have a pet way of going to Format Cells, and that is to right click, and I find Format Cells here. There is a Format Cells in the ribbon though at the top, and it's here, Format Cells. So I can either go here, and I think it wants me to go to Format Cells. Matter of fact, it does. If I do that, it wants me to go to number, and then it wants me to go to time. And then it said 1:30 p.m. I'm going to go ahead and cancel that because I want to show you that if I right click on my mouse, I'll get the same column of shortcuts that are most often used. Notice column width, we'll come to that in a moment. So I'm going to hit Format Cells. I'm going to go to number and click on time, just like I did before, and click on 1:30 p.m. and I'm going to hit OK. So that means that the entire column now has been formatted, regardless of what I do in these numbers, or rather in these rows, to look like the format I just did with number. So let me just do that one more time. So I've gone to Format Cells, and now I've gone to number, time, 1:30 p.m. So I don't have to start out with 1:30 p.m. That's not what it means. It just means that this entire column has been set up to look like this format. So this is the way this column will be formatted anytime I work with a time unit of measure. So we'll click OK. And now let's look back at the instructions. So the second thing it says is to begin, or I guess this is the fourth thing actually, begin your table by creating time intervals in column A. And the person who wrote, it was not me who did the assignment, says, I usually use 15-minute intervals. So let's go back and start in A1 and see if we can actually make that happen. So I'm going to start here in 15-minute increments. So let's see, what time do I get up? How about I get up at 7 in the morning? So I'm going to put 7, and then I'm going to put 7:15. And then you don't have to do it, by the way, in increments of 15 minutes. If you want to do it hour by hour, I think one of our examples did it in an hour. I think another example, the latter one, the one you saw last, I think she does it in a 15-minute interval block. But notice what happened. It didn't start with 1:30 p.m. It started with 7 o'clock a.m. So again, it's not the number that we established when we went up here and went Format Cells and chose 1:30 under time. Instead, what we did is we taught this system. It's similar, I guess, a minor machine learning. We taught this system that anything that happens in this row when we deal with time is going to look like the mother format, if you will, of 1:30 p.m. So I hope that made sense. Now let's go back and look at the instructions. Okay, so it says once, this is the fifth bullet down, once you have 3 times entered, you can let the computer do the rest of the work. Select the 3 times and move your arrow to the small box in the lower right-hand corner of the box. Click and drag until you've reached the end of your day. So let's see how that works. Let me just make sure of something here real fast. All right, so we're supposed to select all 3, if I got that right. So let's go there. And then it said to click the corner box. So I want to blow that up to 200 here so you could see this. There you go. You see this tiny little square there, and notice how my cursor changes from a fat cross to a thin cross. So I'm going to grab it here, and then I'm just going to go down and see what happens. But I hope you notice that on the right-hand side, it's changing 15-minute increments as I curl it down. So I'm just at 10 o'clock, and let's see if it can continue to go. Well, we'll just click it there and see what happens. Nothing happened. So why was that, you think? I don't know. So let's keep going. I'm going to minimize it so we can see and maybe work a little bit better here. Has it frozen on me? Maybe. So let's see if we can, what we can do to fix it. It may have done that because we're working on Blackboard, but that's the idea of what we want to happen. Let me see if I can. I don't think it was happy with that, was it? And let me hit escape. We'll do a Control Alt Delete and see if that happened. We'll go to Task Manager and see if we can get Excel to stop. There's Excel. So I have 3 instances of Excel going. So maybe we should do a click on that and we can end that task. Okay, well, that's fine. Let's do a do-over. So if something like that happens for you, I think there are a couple of things that we can talk about that could prevent that from happening. I'm going to go ahead and open up another Excel spreadsheet so we can start over from scratch. And so let me see. Let's see if we can do this one. Open it up. Hold on just a second. So it's okay if mistakes happen. And we're going to start here. And let me bring you back and we'll do this from the beginning. As a matter of fact, by this time, you might have already learned how to do it on your own and are ready to go. So we're going to go back to application window and I'm going to select the spreadsheet. We'll call it book 1. And I think this time what I'm going to do is I'm going to close that and I'm going to save it this time. I could do an auto save and you can too because you're on OneDrive if you're using the schools. So I'm just going to say save and I'm going to browse and put it into Gwinnett Tech. You probably can't see this, but I'm going to call it the weekly calendar example. And I'll call it weekly calendar Blackboard. No biggie piggy. All right, we have saved that. So you see now it says it's saved. So let's go back. It said to do, in 1A, it said to do class schedule. And then it's the next piece of the instructions says to come into the gray area of A. And then we want to right click or do the format cells. I just prefer right click because it's right here at my fingertips instead of going up to the ribbon that says the insert, delete, or format cells. I get the same thing either way I go. And well, it would have been my desire. There you go. We're going to do format cells one more time. It said to do time and then 1:30. So we're going to click OK. Now, if you'll remember, it said pick 3 times. So I'm going to do start with AM. Oh, look, it didn't do it this time. So what did I do wrong? Oh, yes, it did. Good. So the only thing I didn't do was hit return. All right, so we're going to, seems like when I blew it up the last time, that's when we had the trouble. So I'm going to select this again. You're going to see my cross turn from a fat white one to a skinny black one, and I'm going to pull it down. And it said that Microsoft would do the rest of the work for me, right? So I'm just going to take it down to, my day ends about 11 o'clock. I'm going to take it, well, let's take it to 12 a.m. There you go. Do you see how that worked? And it was all because of that little, I don't know what you might say, smaller little square in the lower right corner. That's how I made that happen. So let's go back up and pick up the instructions. So the next part of the instructions, now that I've done that, is I'm supposed to now click in B2 and type in Monday. So let's type in Monday. And then it says for me to click on that lower right-hand tiny little box and drag until I have all the days of the week. So let's see if we can make that happen too. So I'm going to go up. And did anybody pay any attention to what that was in? Where was that supposed to go? Oh, that was supposed to go in B2. So let's go to B2. B2 is here, and we're going to hit Monday. But wait, I don't know if I want that to happen. Maybe instead what I want to do is take this out and maybe insert a row. So if I want to insert a row here, I think that I will right click and you'll see I get the insert and I can insert a row there. And then that leaves me with the 7 o'clock start time. I've got a little insert option there that I really don't need to worry about. But it asks me if I want to keep the same formatting as the 130 because I've added a row. So I'm going to say yes, keep that, and let's see if that will disappear. Well, we'll just not doing it right now, so I'm not going to worry about it because of the sake of time. I'm going to instead put in the word Monday, and I'm going to grab that same box. I just want you to notice the difference in the arrows. When I'm on the box at the right-hand corner, lower right-hand corner, that allows me the time to pull, and I only want to take it to Friday. But if you have very interesting Saturdays that are atypical and you want to see what you do there, you could take it all the way to Saturday. But we said that we would only do 4 days or 5 days a week. Now you'll notice that it looks a little wacky doodle because Wednesday is covered up in the D column. I can show you a couple of things to handle that. One way would be just to get a bar there on that line and then just double click it like that. And then it will show every letter that's with the day of the week. But let's just stick to the instructions and see now that we've got our Monday back and forth. Oh, it says what I need to do is to center my title by selecting cells A through F and then click on the merge and center. So it does say A1 through F1. So let's go to A1. And they wanted us to select A1 through F1 and then go to merge and center. So merge and center is here. And we can do merge across, or we can do merge cells, or we can do unmerged cells. You're going to use merge cells later. We're going to say merge and center. Let's see what happens when we do that. Oh, voila. There it is. All right, so let's go down after we're almost finished with this sheet. So be patient. Thank you for being patient. Now it says that we can create the lines on our schedule. So select all the lines or cells that you wish to divide with borders, and then click on the borders button and select all borders. So let's go to that. So we're going to click on the borders button, but first we have to decide what we want to border. So I would say that we want to border Monday through Friday, and we want to come all the way down to the end of my day, or whatever the day your day ends, and then we want to go to borders. So here is the borders icon. Maybe we could do that. So we could do this a couple of ways. We can do thick outside borders. Let's just see what that looks like. And take away the so there you go. There's all sorts of fun things we can do about putting shading and things like that on the back. But what if I want to have grid lines on the inside? So let's just select the same area. And for some reason, I don't want to have the numbers inserted. So let's go up here. Whoops. Let's go there. And then let's see if we might want to have a less thick border. But what if we want to do a grid border? So what would happen here? Let's look at this and see what would happen. No, I don't know that I want to do that. So let's go up and see if I can do more borders on the inside and see if there is an outline for the inside. Looks like it. Let's see what happens here. So, all right, well, maybe I like that, maybe I don't. So let me just go up and see. What do you think? I don't know, but you see how I did it, right? So I went to this more borders here, and I can go down to more borders, or I can even make line colors if I like. So you got lots to play with in here, and I would play and have a fun time. Now, this is interesting. I've not put a border Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, or Friday. And so maybe here I want to put a bottom border right there. And so, oh, but you know, there isn't anything between separating the days of the week. So I can go here and I can say I'd like to have a right border. And so if I go here, you'll see the right border was put in. Now maybe I want to put another right border there. Or maybe I want to go to Friday and I want to put a left border in. Where's the left border? There you go. So, oops, I don't have, so I'll do another left border there with Wednesday. So now everything is boarded up. Again, I don't know that I like this. Maybe it's too thick, but at least we've gotten it in there, and it's one example of how borders work, and you could do what you would like to do to make it your own. It also says, now let's see where we are. We were supposed to create the lines on your schedule. Select all cells you wish to divide with borders, it says. I'm still reading from 7. Now it says select columns B through F by clicking and dragging all the gray boxes above the chart. Go to Format again, hit Column and Width, and click in 15, and then click OK. So let's go to the weekly calendar. It said to select B through F and then do Format Cells. So I can do Format Cells here, and I could come up with, oh, look at that. We're back in that border thing, aren't we? I could do that, which is where it's wanting me to go to oh, look, I just want to tell you, here's the fill if you have to do filling of cells. So that's coming up in a minute. But I don't want to do that. I want to do the right click and column width, and I want to do 15. I really like to use my right mouse button. See how that worked? Now, let's keep going. We're almost finished. So then it says, now select all the cells that contain the days and classes. So, oh, wait. Above that, it says, now you're ready to enter your class schedule. Be sure to type in the cell when the class starts. So I can make up something and show you how that works. So let's say that I have a class, which happens to be true, that I have a class that starts at 7 o'clock. So I'm going to call, how about this? I'll put HMI 90 or 8890. All right, so I put a course in there, and then it says select 2 cells you want to combine into one class. So that class that I'm talking about goes for 2 hours. So it goes from 7 o'clock to 9 o'clock. So I'm going to select there. Oh, wait, nothing happened. So how do I select it? There I go. So I'm going to go down to 9 o'clock. Is it at 9 o'clock? It's 8:45. So I've select there, and then I'm going to go back up to merge and center. And I want to merge these cells. Let's see what happens. There you go. So I've merged that cell. Now I bet you my bottom dollar that it's going to say I can, oh, it says that I can click center and format and then choose the alignment tab and then wrap text. So let's go and do that. So I'm going to go back to formatting cells. You're doing a lot of formatting cells, aren't you? And I'm going to go into alignment, and I don't want that to be at the bottom. Let's say that I want it to be centered, and I want it to be centered. And I'm also going to wrap text. There's nothing that's going to, but look, it went right in the center. Isn't that cool? Now I know that I can do a cell fill. So let me go back to that format cell, and I can go to fill here. And let's say that I want this class to have a color. Is there a pattern I like? Oh, I don't think I want any of those. But let's just choose something blue. And let's see what happens. Nothing. Wonder why. So could it have been that I wasn't in the cell? I don't know. So let's try again. So it says no color, but that's not true because I want it to be blue. Now let's see if that worked. Well, that did. So maybe I just missed clicking a button. There's another way that I can do cell fills. So let's say all the classes that I take are going to be in light blue, but I am taking 3 or 4 classes. Maybe one of my classes starts at 9 in the morning. So I'm going to, let's say it goes from 9 until 11. So I'm going to go back to merge, and I'm going to merge cells. And then I'm going to type in here biology lecture. But again, remember, I don't want it to be just kind of clumped there in the bottom. Oh, wait, that's not the same formatting cells. So I need to get out of there and then come back and go back to format cells. So remember, if I get lost, I can go up and do these format cells. So I can do format cells and, oops, there's my dog. Oh, that's really my dog. And he's going to bark. So there's format cells at the bottom. I can go to align. I'm sorry. I don't know what he's barking at. We'll do center, and we'll do center, and we'll do wrap text. See how that works? And then let's say I want biology to be a different color. I can also go here where it says fill color. I have a Rottweiler. That's who you're hearing. And you see how I can use any color. Bunker, it's okay. And so I can choose that color. So that's how you do those instructions. Now let me go down to where it says now you can make your schedule easier. Easier to read by coding some of the classes. We've done that. And now you can enter in or include the rest of your time. How you commute and things like that. So the idea is to come up with a way of keeping up with your time on a 5-day-a-week schedule, which would be Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday. I followed the instructions that said to do this in 15-minute increments. You could do this by just doing it in hourly increments. For example, let me just take all that and I'll show you what I mean. And then I would come up with a way of keeping up with all of that. Let me just clear the contents here. And let's say that I want to do 8 o'clock. Let's see what happens. Oh, no, that didn't work. So let's see if I do, I wonder why that didn't work. That's interesting. Could it be because I didn't start here? Let's see what happens. So let's do, remember, let's do, let me clear contents all the way. Oh, can't do that to a merge cell. Okay, you don't have to. So let's go back up here. Oh, you know why? Because A1 is now merged. So let me see if I can go and select all these columns or this entire column, but do it without selecting that row. Let's see if I can do a format cell here. And then what was it we decided we wanted to do? Number and time. And let's choose something different. Let's do it in military time, 1330. So, oh, that's 0100, which is 12 a.m. So let's see. Let's start here. I don't know why it jumped so many increments, and so this is an opportunity to explore. Let's do this. 7 a.m. Ah, it didn't say 7 a.m. So let me put 8 a.m. and see what if it goes back to it didn't that time. But it doesn't have the AM. So I wonder if the formatting is gone. We'll see. So I'm going to go back down and I'm going to, oh, remember I didn't want to do it on Monday. So let me see if I can do something here. What if I do this? Copy and paste. We could do it that way, that way. This is the formula. This is the values. So let's choose the values. All right, so let's see what happens. We're going to take this one and we're going to clear the contents there. We're going to select all 3. I'm looking for my little square in the end. I've got it. Let's just see what happens. It may not work. And then again, it might. Well, by George, it did. Because remember, we were working in military time. So I'm not so sure I like that time. It seems confusing to me because it comes to midnight and then it repeats again. So it doesn't work because this was originally set up for 15-minute increments. And I really don't need that many rows if I'm only going to do it at an hour at a time. So it's something for you to experiment with. But let me leave this now. I want to go to how to do a formula. So we need to add in, because we've done everything. Now what you just need to do is think about, are you keeping a diary or how are you keeping up with what you're doing on a day-to-day basis? Is it a scratch pad? Is it Evernote? What application are you using? So let's remember our categories. We had the category of class time. You want to put class time. I think the other was study time. The other was travel time. Well, fiddlesticks. Wasn't it sleeping and eating? So we could say sleep time and eating time. And there'll be other things that you're doing too. I mean, exercise, whatever else you're doing that takes up a lot of your time, socializing, whatever. But I can do a couple of things here. I can go in, see when my arrow is dark like that. That means that I have the column. So I want to do a column width here, and I'm going to say that I want this one to be 15 as well. So I'm going to hit OK there. I'm also going to go back in and format my cells so that my alignment is center and center. And I'm going to say wrap text. If I were to say, oh, look, you can see merge cells there too. So if I were to say I wanted to wrap the text and I were to shrink it, look what would happen. Well, let me like really make it squeeze. So it would wrap text so that it came onto the bottom. In other words, it wouldn't let it protrude or poke out this way. But I'm going to fix that back to its column width of 15. So let's make sure we do that. Okay, so then let's say that on Monday I have, let me just do a couple. One easy thing I could do is, let's say my class time a week, I've added up these numbers, and let's say one is 5 hours and one is 6 hours, I don't know, 7 hours. Oh, but let's see, I should sleep at least 30, 5 times 8 is 40 hours. And then eating time, let's say, is 8 hours. So one of the ways that I can do a sum is I could go up to auto sum here, and you could drop down and it'll do averages for you, the max, the means. It's got all sorts of functions. And so I could just do this and hit auto sum, and it will add it together. So you've done a formula. Another thing that you can do, let's say that you want to do like one of our examples did, where she had every day of the week. So let's say that you did, real quickly, let's see, you did Monday, and you had class again on Thursday. We're just going to put Monday. Let me do this here. See, I'm going to grab this again, and I'm going to go out Monday, Tuesday, Wednesday, Thursday, Friday. So let's say on Monday I have 5 hours of class time. On Thursday I have 3. So on Friday I'm going to put an equals, and that starts the formula. And I'm going to say I3. Oh, look what happened. Plus L3. And then I'm going to hit enter. So that means that by Friday, or wait a minute, let's do this a little bit better. Let's make a total column. And let me show you what wrap text does. I'm going to hit wrap text this time here. And I think, let's do that. So you see it put the two words on top of each other instead of having it poke over a line. So in this case, I'm going to start that formula again with an equals sign, and I'm going to add I3 and L3. Whoa, wait, though. What happened? I3. I forgot my function, my operator. What did I want to happen between these two numbers? And then once I've got both numbers where I want them under total, I just hit return. And it tells me my total hours that week were 8. Okay, so you were very patient in listening to me throughout this entire piece on how to do the Excel spreadsheet. I'm going to go back to the assignment and tell you that a lot of people find out once they get the hang of Excel that they just love it. And it's such an excellent tool. It's a robust tool. And so the reason that we're doing this is so that you can track your time, think about your time management. Think about your goals from the first part of the week. A lot of you had time management goals. This is how you can set up a time sheet. There's an exercise here, a 12-minute video that kind of shows you basically the same type of thing I've just done. And this gives you an idea of time management just as a TED Talk and how important that is. The other thing is that this goes in with Chapter 3 and Chapter 11, because Chapter 11 is all about how to manage your health and making sure that you have enough time to do the things you need to take care of school, take care of yourself, take care of your other responsibilities. One of the most important things about being healthy and reducing stress. The other thing is that you're the master of your fate. And the more you know about how you're spending your very precious life, which doesn't repeat itself, then the more you can make a decision about how you want that life to go. I hope you enjoy this exercise and that you get tons and tons out of it. Thank you so much for listening.